Hey, what is up, everyone? We're back with another episode of the Weekly Fix. You can hear class going on in the background, so hopefully you guys are gonna be able to hear me. But I had a few of you guys coming to me this week about low back pain. So we did some deadlifts last week, and then we did a pretty heavy back squat lift this week. So a lot of you kind of tweaked your back a little bit, and what is that? Why is that? So we're gonna go through a couple things. This week, we're gonna teach you how to kind of release some of that pain, and then next week I'm gonna talk about stabilizing your core and bracing down on that so that we don't have these issues. Because what happens is we're not bracing the core properly, and then we're creating a little shear force against the spine, and that's the body's way of shutting you down so that it prevents injury, so you don't have a ruptured disc, okay? It's trying to keep your spine in alignment. So the QL and the Psoas play a really vital, important role in keeping your hips in alignment and attached to your spine, and that's what happens. So those kind of get pissed off because they also deal with rotation. And when we do a back squat, sometimes we tend to lean to one side of the hip. One glute is stronger than the other. Or if we're doing like a deadlift, sometimes we don't brace that core properly. And as we lift, then we're putting a lot of shear force on that lower back. Okay, so here we go. For pieces of equipment, you're gonna need a lacrosse ball. And then we're gonna use a little ab mat here. But for the ab mat, I want you guys to turn it upside down, okay? Because it's gonna help kind of hold that lacrosse ball in there. And so the QL is gonna run kind of underneath that. You're gonna find that spot. It's a soft spot in your low back. So if you have the lower rib here, and then you kind of have that indent right below the top, right above the top of that crest of the iliacus there. So you have a little indent. That ball is gonna go right in that indent. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna, this one's pretty painful, and I'm not superly like tight back there right now, but if you are, this will almost make you kind of throw up. So you're gonna kind of want to lay into it on your side here, kind of leaning back. You'll know when you hit that spot, okay? So like I said, it's right below the rib cage, right above the hip. And what I want you to do is you're gonna kind of grind away at it a little bit. And then when you find a really spot that's like, holy cow, we're gonna bring that knee up in a straight line and then right back down. Now what you're doing is you're taking your body through range of motion, because remember, we don't want to just sit in a spot. We're trying to restore range of motion. So I'm taking it through a squat motion where my leg would be squatting, kind of lengthening and straightening. Whew, it's making me sweat here. So you're gonna do 2 minutes on each side, okay? You can see where that ball's at, right below the rib cage. We're gonna mash that out. Second one, we can put these away. We're gonna hit that psoas muscle, which is gonna be on the front, kind of on the opposite side. So we got the belly button, and then right off to the side. We're gonna take the kettlebell handle. We wanna go about 2 inches to the right or the left of the belly button, and we're gonna use the edge of that kettlebell handle, okay? So we're gonna drive that in there, right above the hip bone, right in the front here, and in that lower gut, okay? And from there, we're gonna drive that up. We wanna go knee out, and then to extension. You want to try to relax into it, head back. You'll find that spot. If your back is inflamed, it's gonna hurt a lot, all right? Take care of yourself, guys. Loosen that up, okay? Loosen up the back, and then from there, we can do some stability. So I'll take you through some stability exercises next week, some things that you can do, a sequence, so to say, that you can use for your making sure you're bracing properly. See you guys next week. Remember, send me messages. I like to answer your questions if you're feeling hurt. Talk to you guys later. It's been another episode of the Weekly Fix.